Hello friends, welcome back to today's class. So we have started with your color image processing in the previous class. So in continuation with the previous class, today we'll go ahead and try to touch upon your RGB color model. That is how your RGB color images would look and how the various colors are obtained, and all those things we'll see in today's class. So before moving ahead with the today's class, I'll just try to give you a small glimpse of the previous class. So you might remember in the previous class we had come across two important types of colors. One is primary color and another one is secondary color, and how these colors are obtained. So if you remember, the primary colors are your red, green and blue, and your secondary colors are nothing but your magenta, yellow and cyan. So if you want to touch upon this thing, I'll just take you back to the previous slide. You can just observe here. So the primary colors you can see here, red, green and blue, and the secondary colors are nothing but your yellow, magenta and cyan. Okay, and we had also seen how this whole spectrum is distributed at various wavelengths. Like so blue starts somewhere around 450 nanometers. So even we have that slide as well. Just have a look at that. So blue is taking around 445 nanometers, green is taking around 535 nanometers, and red is ranging around 575 nanometers. So these all things we have seen in the previous class, friends. We have also seen this complete chromacity diagram, wherein we have touched upon how the color is distributed. Okay, so based on this we have also seen some equations as well, like how to get your chromatic coefficients. We have seen those things as well in the previous class. So moving ahead, today we'll go ahead with the next very important thing, which is nothing but your color models. So what is this color model then? So what is the use of this color model? So the use of this color model is nothing but we will be getting various specifications of colors in various standards, which is generally accepted anywhere. So in any part of the world you go, then color space, using color space, whatever color you bring upon, that would be accepted. That is, the specification of the color model is accepted. Now, how do you get this color model? This color model is based on the coordinate system. Using the coordinates, you can see here in this diagram that we have used the coordinate system, that is R, G and B, and using this coordinate system and the subspace, we'll be trying to get our various color models. Okay, so if you remember, most of the colors what we use today are either your hardware or towards application oriented. So using any one of those we'll trying to get, like hardware I mean to say your color monitors and printers, and applications I mean to say such as creation of your animations or graphics, all those things. Okay, so there are two things usually which the color model gives us. One is hardware dependent, the other one is your application dependent. Okay, so moving ahead with this, if you can see in this diagram, whatever you can see in this diagram, this is called as a color model, and it is completely based on the Cartesian coordinate system. So if you can see here, the main important thing is the whole color subspace is represented with the help of the cube. And what this cube consists of, it has primary values. You can observe it has primary values. Which are the primary values, friends? Here, this R, which you can see here, it's a primary value. This R, you can see here, it's a primary value. This G, which you can see here, is also a primary value, and this B, which you can see here, it is also a primary value, right? So that means your R, G, B are taking your X, Y and Z axes, right? So you can see here, one thing is these are at the three corners. These are at the three corners here, the first corner, the second corner and the third corner, right? And what is there at the other end? The other end you have your secondary colors, which are nothing but your cyan, magenta and yellow, right? So you can see here the cyan, you can see, where is cyan, friends? It is just above your green. And where is magenta? It is just above your red. And where is your next thing, which is yellow? It is just besides to your red and green here, right? So using this we will be getting our color space. Now What do you mean by this now? Whatever the diagram you are viewing right now, it is of a grayscale image. So you can see here, it has been not represented in color, it has been represented in grayscale. So when I speak of grayscale, you know that it consists of only two major pixels. Which are the two major pixels? One is black and another one is white. So therefore, the black and white forms the major aspects here. You can observe at one end you have a black. Here at one corner you have black and at other corner you have white. So these dotted lines, whatever you can see here, these dotted lines, when you join those both dotted lines, in between you get your, in between you will be getting your grayscale. So if I want a grayscale image, I should join this black and white colors with the help of the dots. Okay. Now, what are these two joining points we have from white to black? This is nothing but it is completely based on your cube. That means in the cube you have the other colors like red, green, blue, yellow, magenta and sienna. But at one corner you have a white, at the other corner you have a black. That means all other values, all other colors have been assumed that they are 0 right now. And the values which your RGB would take is in the range of 0 to 1. So remember friends, your RGB can take values from 0 to 255. That is, it starts from a pixel value starts from 0 and it ranges up to 255. But when we speak of a grayscale image, we reduce our values in the range of 0 to 1. Right? So I hope so the grayscale is clear. Next, we'll move to the next thing. That is your color image. One more very important thing, I hope friends you have already observed in this slide. You can see here the red has been represented with the help of a coordinate system which is 1 0 0, and the blue is nothing but your 0 0 1, and the green is nothing but your 0 1 0. It is nothing but your x, y and z. So x axis is your red which is 1 and rest all are 0, and next is, you can say it's y axis which is 1, and here you can say for blue it is z axis, and you can take it as per your convenience, but for now you just remember this is x, y and z. That's all. Okay, this is x, y and z. Okay, now moving ahead, we'll try to see upon your color cube now. Very simple friends, in the previous slide what we saw, it was a black and white cube. Here it is what now? It's a color cube. If you observe this slide very carefully, you can see one thing here. If you remember this previous slide, okay, if you remember this previous slide, where is my red color? Where is my red color friends? You can observe here the red color is here at this edge, right? And if you observe the next slide, make a note, red color is at this corner. And when you observe the next slide, you can observe here clearly, where is my red now? The red is here. So it's predominant at this portion, and as you move away, you can see the red has been diminished. The predominant color here is what now? Yellow. The predominant color here is what now? Green, and here it is blue. So that means as you move away from this edge, the colors are getting mixed. So you can see here the colors are getting mixed and the primary color intensity is reducing. So if you observe the previous slide and this slide, you can easily make a note that whatever the corners are there, the same colors are here in this cube. Now, whatever the cube you are seeing, it is representing your RGB color model, and it has one for each color, like red at one corner, green at one color, yellow, blue and all those things. Okay, so when you feed it into a RGB monitor, these three images combine on the screen to produce one color image. That means when you go on adding various images, the various colors, you get n number of different colors. What are the various colors? Which are nothing but your primary and secondary colors. And the number of bits which we use to represent each pixel is called the pixel depth. Like say for example, if I use 8 bits, that means 8 bits is my pixel depth. If I use 16 bits, it means that the pixel depth is 16 bits. Now let us consider a simple example wherein we will consider we have 8-bit images. That means my pixel depth is what now? It is 8 bits. So therefore, if I take an RGB color pixel, what would be the total bits then? It is said to be 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is nothing but 24 bits. That means 24 bits is the color depth of my RGB color pixel. So remember friends, I am forming one pixel which is a combination of all three colors. Which are the three colors? R, G and B. That means each pixel is having what is the depth of each pixel of each color? It is 8 bits. And when we join all the 3 bits, that is all 3 colors, what would happen now? 8 bits of R, 8 bits of green and 8 bits of blue. So totally it is 24 bits. Right? Now next very important thing is, you might have come across n number of times a term called as full color. So a full color image is nothing but it is usually a 24-bit RGB color, and in this the total number of colors are somewhere around 16 lakhs. That means I mean to say 2 raised to 8 raised to 3. Right friends? Remember this number, 2 raised to 8 raised to 3. That means it is written something like this. Just to give you a glimpse, 2 raised to 8 raised to 3. Now, why like this? Why 2 raised to 8 only I have written? Because 8 is my number of bits. That is pixel depth. And why I have written here 3 only? Because we have 3 planes. Which are the 3 planes? R, G and B. That's why we write it as 2 raised to 8 raised to 3. And which amounts up to somewhere around 1670. One second friends. So the color depth would come across somewhere around, it is 16,777 and 216. It means that somewhere around it amounts to 1,67,77,216. So this is the total number of colors. Whatever the amount I have written here, it is the total number of colors. And how did you achieve this total number of colors? It is achieved by nothing but 2 raised to 8 raised to 3, which I have already explained. 8 is nothing but it is the pixel depth, and 3 is nothing but these are the 3 planes, which is R, G and B. Okay, I hope this is clear friends, how you reached this number and what is the meaning of this number. Okay, now next, moving ahead, next very important thing we will be seeing is, so I hope this whole thing is clear. So this is how you generate your RGB image using various cross-sectional planes, right? So you can observe here, when the 3 planes are separated, whenever you see that there are 3 planes separated, they would look like something like a black and white itself, right? But when all those 3 planes are merged using a color monitor, you would get a colored thing, something like this. So this is what you would be getting when you merge all your red, green and blue. Okay, so this is usually done with the help of the high-end display cards as well as monitors. And you can remember that whenever I use a high-end monitor, it gives me almost all the colors in your 24-bit RGB image. And many systems, whatever we use today, are limited to 256 colors. So that means the maximum amount of colors which I could get is nothing but your 256. Okay friends, and what you can see at the end here, whatever the thing you can see here at the end, R is equal to 0. That means what now? When I say R is equal to 0, it means that I am supplying only 2 colors. Which are the 2 colors? Green and blue. So here you can see here, one color is this one, the other color is blue. While red is what now? It is 0. When this is the case when R is equal to 0. That means when R is equal to 0, you are getting only green and blue. Next thing is what now? When green is equal to 0. That means when I make this middle plane is equal to 0 and I transmit only the upper plane and the lower plane. That means you would be getting your G is equal to 0. In the similar fashion, you will be getting your B is equal to 0. Okay friends. Now, next very important thing is, you might have come across n number of applications wherein you would say you require more number of colors, that is say somewhere around hundreds of colors and so on. But always most of our applications is nothing but it is limited to 256 colors. But we have come across a very unique method wherein we call it as pseudo color image processing technique, which we will be discussing further. What is the pseudo color? Pseudo means what now? Duplicate. We feel that there are hundreds of colors, but in reality, in fact, there are only 256 colors. Okay. Now, whenever we say we require n number of colors, it is nothing but we need to feed a system which is of our interest. Like say for example, we would like to reproduce all the colors which our hardware is capable of processing. That means we cannot process all the colors. We can only process the colors which our hardware is capable of processing. So whatever this subset of colors which the hardware has the capacity to process is called as the set of safe RGB colors, or sometimes we also call them as system safe colors. That means whatever the system can produce. And another very important thing is whenever we use your internet applications, we call them as safe web colors or safe browser colors. Remember friends, what is safe RGB colors? The colors which your hardware is capable to process, right? What is your safe web colors or safe browser colors? The internet applications which is capable to produce are called as safe web colors or safe browser colors. Okay. So this is all regarding your color palette. Now next very important thing is you can see here whatever the figure you can observe here, it is nothing but it is of all the 216 safe RGB colors. You can observe in this figure all the 215 safe RGB colors. All the colors are there in this palette. Okay. Similarly, whatever the down thing you can see here. One second, I will show you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So one more very important thing what you can see here is the hex and decimal conversion. Remember friends, our computer processes all our data in the form of hexadecimal. So what should be converted now? They should be converted into pure particular decimals. So you can observe here the last digit which is double F. The last digit which is double F. Yeah, one second. Yeah. The last digit which is double F, you can observe it is nothing but 255. That means 0 to 255. That means how many colors we are processing? We are processing 256 colors in total. Okay. So this is all friends for today's class. Please have a go through it. If you have any doubts, you can always call me or WhatsApp me. Okay. Please go through it carefully. It's very simple but very important and basic thing. Okay. We'll again meet in the next class. Thank you.